Hello everyone, good evening from Tokyo. Today I have a great pleasure to speak with Francesca Bonta. She is based in Canada. Francesca, hi, how are you today?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. It's end of the week in Tokyo and beginning of Sunday in Canada, right?
That's right.
So thank you very much for being part of our community personal branding program, and I'm very excited to learn more about you, and I will appreciate if you can share a little bit more about your background and how you become who are you today.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be a part of this community. You have some really amazing women in the group, and I feel honored that I've been, invited into that group as well. So I have been in the yoga world for 40 years, and a lot of people kind of look at me, well, how 40 years? So a lot of what I do has helped to keep me feeling younger and vibrant and alive. And I think we do things because we feel called to do them from like an internal drive. And I feel that the work that I do is helping me, it's fueling me, and it's that continuous circle of give and take. I'm also a mom of triplet boys who are now 23 years old. And that has obviously been a really big challenge. For a big part of that, I was also on my own with them too, and we traveled a lot of different countries. So it's been quite the adventure, but everything happens to us for a reason. And at this point in my life, I feel like a lot of the pieces are really coming together. And my main focus after all this experience, I'm a dietitian. I went to university, studied, practiced in a private practice setting for many years. I've done the whole fitness thing. When I was in school, I used to teach personal training and fitness classes. And yoga came to me when I was very young, but I didn't start teaching it until about 20 years ago. So everything has sort of mixed and matched and found its way into my main focus now, if we were to sum it up, would be on chakra balancing through energy medicine and various healing modalities, including, things like crystals and essential oils and music with sound bathing and just various things. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm an expert in all those fields, but I just take pieces from the different modalities and put them together to support people either on an individual level or in group settings to help us find balance, mind, body, and spirit.
And Francesca, what yoga means for you personally, and what wake up you in the morning?
So back in the day, I would say that when I first started teaching yoga, it was a lot about the physical, doing things that were physically challenging. And if we just go back a little, I was that girl when I was in primary school that was the last person to be chosen for the teams. So back then we used to have, two captains, and then they would pick who was going to be on your team. And I was always the last person because from an athletic sense, I wasn't confident, I wasn't strong. And so that really had a lot of effect on my self-esteem. So as I was getting older and I wanted to be fit and I wanted to take part in activities, a lot of the things I did were individual. So, aerobics, personal training, swimming, those sorts of things where I could advance, but it wasn't necessarily like part of a team. So I didn't feel that I was letting anyone down. So when I started practicing yoga and I was able to do, planks and chaturangas and sun dogs and handstands and headstands and all this kind of stuff, it was for me empowering because, wow, look at me, I can do this with my body. Whereas, for so many years I had been, I had allowed myself to feel that I wasn't good enough. So before it used to be more about physical, but then as the years go on, I've learned to really embrace yoga as a lifestyle. So I don't practice yoga just on my mat, which I'm sitting on right now. Yoga is part of my everyday life. It's how I think, it's how I feel, it's how I eat, it's how I behave. It is part and parcel of my life. So what I've been trying to do over the years, because some people have been practicing with me for 20 years, is to help find a way that we can transform yoga from the mat to our everyday lives. So whether that be retreats that people I only meet them once and see them for a few days, or people who have joined me for all the years. I'm supporting people to feel empowered to take this practice into their everyday life, and how it is for me today versus how it was even, last month, because we all know we're in very different times right now. It changes and it shifts. So yoga for me is a way of life. And yes, I love doing challenging poses, but that's not what it's about. It's really about taking the whole practice and applying it to our life to support us, again, that mind, body, spirit support. So, for example, one person who comes to mind is someone who is, she's living a sober life now after many years of unhealthy habits. And, long story short, after a couple sessions, she found the courage to present to her team at work to talk about herself and her experience in a raw and real way. And here she is allowing herself to be so vulnerable amongst the people that she works with every day. Sometimes it's easy to be vulnerable with a group that you're never going to see again. But here she did this. So this is all part of her healing journey. That was her story. But most people downtown Toronto, it's busy, 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 go, go, go. And they are more interested in that, hot yoga, very energetic, get this energy out of my body. However, in the short period of time that I have been in the city, I've noticed that there has been a shift with younger people. So I'm going to say like people in their 20s and definitely those in their 30s starting to awaken and be a little bit more curious and open to this energy world and learning a little bit more about that empowerment piece. And I noticed that in about a year's time. And I feel that this is happening because it needs to happen. And another thing that I like to do is present the material in a way that isn't too woo-woo-y and airy-fairy and out there. So sometimes when energy world is discussed, it's presented in a manner that your everyday person just doesn't get. So I like to take the material that can be kind of far out there and present it in a level that I'm comfortable with. So sometimes I seek the guidance of others and they're just too far out there for me and I don't resonate with them either. And then sometimes I can take someone who's presenting something that's a little bit outside of the comfort zone. And I take pieces from here and there. So for example, astrology. I'm not an astrologist, but I follow the work of a few people. I respect their opinions. I really align with what they're saying. And I'll take one or two pieces from their material and present it to my audience because I want to meet my audience where they're at. And that's another thing that I feel like I've cultivated over the years of practice is that you learn to understand where each person is at. So a conversation I might have with you might seem like it's very deep and very spiritually out there, whereas I might speak with, another person and they're just entering energy world. So I'm not going to share things with them that leave them feeling uncomfortable. They just feel, again, empowered. They feel like they understand and they're getting a better sense of how they can use the stuff that we already feel anyway and the things that are around us all the time, like stones and, elements like water and trees, and how we can use this to support us to feel more centered, more aligned, and more aware of what's happening in and around our bodies. Because meditation is incredibly powerful. And yes, there's all sorts of meditations that we can do for free online, and I have some on my website as well too. But the shifts energetically that can happen, I feel that people need the support and they need the guidance of someone who has experience in it. So, I've had a lot of interesting things happen in my sessions, and I'm there to hold space for people. So, in as much as I definitely encourage people to seek out meditation and whatnot, I also definitely encourage people to feel that they have some sort of support, someone who knows what they're doing. And there's a lot of information out there that doesn't align with me, and there's a lot that does. So asking people to be mindful of what feels right. So if you see someone online, or you listen to a meditation and your body's like, this doesn't sound right, then maybe that's not the one for you. So to just keep exploring until you find something that feels right for you. It will feel right in your belly. It will feel right in your heart. And it will feel like as if the person or the energy or the sharing piece is hugging you, that it was meant directly for you.
This, what you are doing, Francesca, is so important. And uh, especially today when people are actually, as you said, they have to slow down to speed up. I believe this is the period of time when we need to slow down to speed up in the future. What is the impact you want to have with your business, especially during this crisis and also after this crisis? How you want to help more people? Is that online strategy, or you want to keep doing what you're doing in your local community? What is your plan for the future?
Well, I already had a lot of things in the making before all this happened. And I mean, I hope, of course, to be able to get back to that one on one healing. I do feel that human touch, human contact is really important. And I already felt before that, we were spending a lot of time, on our electronic devices and disconnected from people. However, now I feel that we are using these devices as a way to connect
Connect.
with people. So that's been really, really nice. And I was thinking about it just last night, wondering what would this world have been like dealing with this right now if we didn't have all these ways of staying connected. So I'm really grateful. And I've always thought that technology had so many advantages. And I feel that now we're able to use it in a way that's more supportive. So I hope to be able to reach more of a global market. I've traveled a lot of the world, and I have friends, pretty much everywhere. Started when I was 17, traveling, and I've traveled out of the country every year since. So I hope to be able to continue to travel. And so definitely hope to keep doing what I was doing, to expand globally, to be doing more virtual trainings as well. And really just kind of see where things go. Retreats is a big part of my life. Definitely one of my skills is facilitating retreats. So it'll be curious to see how things go, but I'm open to a lot more. And this time that we're in has actually given me an opportunity to focus on some of the things that I haven't had time for in the past. And one of them was being able to create content that was available globally. I had a really full schedule. I was busy up until September, booked solid. So now I have some time to be able to work on those projects, and I'm taking advantage of it and doing my best to continue to serve my, intimate community, people who know me already, and to serve the world globally by putting out content there that's from my heart, but also comes from, many years of knowledge, training, and experience. So for now, I just want to do my little bit to help the world however I can, and we'll just see how things unfold over the next few months.
What is the best way to contact you? Is there social media, or you have website, email address?
Yeah.
What is your preferred way of communication, online or?
I'm on all these platforms daily, and I don't mind how people contact me. Instagram handle is francesca.bonta. On Facebook, I'm Francesca Bonta, and then my website is Karma Lifestyle. And there's a contact form on there too. So however people prefer to get a hold of me is great. I made it really easy for people to find me as long as they know my name. And I have a pretty quick response time. It's usually within 24 hours to 48 hours. And however I can support people, whether it be just a social media connection, or they have a personal question, or they want to work together privately, I'm open to all of that.
And Francesca, for the end of this interview, is there anything you can share with us right now? Maybe some piece of your work, maybe some healing, maybe some meditation, just maybe some small piece of anything, which actually can get people a feeling. How is that work with you? Maybe if you have do some sounds or whatsoever.
Well, I can definitely play just a few moments of the sound of the crystal bowl for you. But on my website, I have some pre-recorded meditations. There's 4 of them up there right now. One of them is 5 minutes, and the longest is half an hour, so nothing too intense. And then I also just wanted to put in that piece of what we eat is so important. And I know that during these times, a lot of us are going for comfort foods, either turning to alcohol or really not nourishing food. So, in as much as it's fine to indulge every once in a while, just remembering that we are what we eat, and to do our best to add fruits and veggies. That's like at the top of my list in terms of advice. And taking part in some sort of mindful movement. If you want to join me for yoga classes, we have them offered every day right now, and they are free. So take advantage of that while it lasts. And then the sound bowl actually is the last of my little talents that I have brought into my practice. I've had different brass bowls over the years, and I wasn't able to play them. So I thought that I just didn't have that talent. And then one day, someone brought her crystal bowls to my studio and allowed me to play, and I was like, oh wow. So I'm not an expert in sound bathing, but I am playing with it a little. So if you want to just close your eyes and just take a few breaths in and out through the nose. This bowl is specific to the heart chakra, and it's not a very big bowl. There are some that are quite ginormous. And I work from a space of love. I particularly like to work with white light. And from my heart to yours, may you all be filled with more light and love. Namaste.
Francesca, thank you so much. This was beautiful experience. And for all of you guys who wants to know more, Francesca is providing free online classes. Also, if you want to work with her directly one-on-one, that's also possible. So Francesca is a new member of our community. I hope, Francesca, we will see you much more often, and please be free to share any of your new service or healing or helping people, because there are so many people, I think, who need your help right now. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you again for allowing me to be a part of this community. The women that you have in the group right now are all just absolutely beautiful, inspirational women. So again, gratitude. I'm very honored, and this is just proof of how small the world is, and we can connect and bond and share. So again, thank you.
Welcome on the board, and we are looking for one of your retweet session once when the situation comes back to normal.
Absolutely.
Thank you.